bringing the people behind our food to life.
Humans have been, we've been around for what, 200 or 300,000 years, or who knows, longer. We've only been doing agriculture for 10,000 years. So there's a part of us and our connection to the soil that is much, much deeper, than what can we, what plant can we harvest from this field.
Soils have parents just like we have parents. So they came from somewhere. And soils form from some material that's in a particular location. So in this location, we had wind-blown sediments that came in, and you have these loose sediments that are mostly silt-sized particles called loess, L-O-E-S-S, with some clay and some sand, and then soil formed. That kind of material is transported. It's transported parent material because it came in by the wind. Other types of parent material can come in by the water. You can have rivers that overflow, like along the Mississippi, they deposit alluvium.
I became a soil nerd, like a soil freak. And then once that's like the structure. And then you figure out, how can I make this artistic? Because I'm, an artist. I'm a filmmaker. Filmmaking is an art. So how do you do that in a way that allows people to be connected to the film? So this, to me, the idea of mixing art and science, there's a lot of art in science, a lot of science in art. So I thought, let's put them together and try to bring these ideas out, like photosynthesis, in this way where you, instead of, okay, photosynthesis, you go, wow, photosynthesis, what a miracle, amazing, I hadn't thought about that in a while.
And using the power of sunlight, this carbon dioxide is transformed into carbohydrates by the process called photosynthesis.
As a filmmaker, it's much more fun to do, because then you can have these ideas about what creative way can we present this. Okay, how are we going to do the nitrogen cycle in a way that people are going to go, wow, that's so cool, now I get it, because we had the music, we had the animation, we had the facts. So that is, it's part of what makes film interesting to do. I mean, I went to art school, so even making, these kind of sciencey documentaries is really different than a lot of people I went to school are doing. But I feel like, that is, people like that. And if you want to communicate with people and you want them to really sit through it, you have to give them that. And then it becomes a full experience. And then the music, I had one title for the film, one thing, and then as we were getting into it, my editor, who's just a really good music editor as well, and then Vivian Hillgrove, and then Todd Buckelhide, my composer, who I've worked with before, he's such a talented composer. So I'm doing this research on, I'm shooting stuff, figuring out the film, putting it together, and I thought, symphony, this soil is like a symphony. It's so complex, but then it's all this kind of one organism, and then there are all these different rhythms to it and different kinds of things. And so then I thought, symphony of the soil, so plus then we could really wail on the music part. Because often in independent films and documentaries, they're afraid of music. They have to have funky music or like, like dissonant music. It's like to be beautiful and rhythmic, and people just, God, I just closed my eyes and I was just like transported by the music. There's kind of like a thing where like, you don't want to do that because it's too beautiful. But that, I think we need more beauty, and we need more something that people love. I loved the music. I love the watercolors. Why not? There's one section in the film that I think I'm so happy with, which are the different kinds of soil. There's 12 different kinds of soil. They call them the soil orders. And so I said to my editor, I said, I want to do this special piece with the soil orders where we have the music as sort of evocative of that kind of soil. So we have so if you watch it, and the people that know about soil, when they first see it, they like freak out, like they call it the taxonomy. I love the taxonomy. I love the taxonomy, and they just freak out because the old soil has this music that goes woo, 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 like with the tuba, and then the tropical soil has these maracas, like each thing. And even though they're just short little bits, like 3 shots of that soil, from the government, from the government soil service, you really get the sense of each soil is very different because of the music underlying it. And I mean, when I told my editor, this is what I want to do. And so she said, well, should I tell you what I'm doing or should I just do it? Because we've worked together for years. So I said, oh, surprise me, just do it. So she did it, and I just I laughed all the way through it. I was like, I am so happy with this, because it's one of those things that makes it, it just drives it home to people, and they go, yeah, wow, there's really a lot of different kinds of soil. I never thought about that. So I think the more art we bring into film, and the more beauty and the more music and the more wonderful images, I think we need that today because, the world can be a really ugly place, and the more that filmmakers can bring beauty into people's lives, I think it not only helps their lives, but it helps the film. People want to go see the film because they get this beautiful world for 90 minutes.